Hi everybody, welcome to my Ray of Light channel. How are you today? I'm doing great, thank you. So before we start, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. And for those who would like to schedule a private consultation with me, you can go to energysk.com, which is energysk.com. For those who would like to purchase ivermectin, it is the same website, energysk.com, and go to alternative medicine and you will find the information and research about ivermectin. I also have packages there for people if they want to clean up their body from the COVID shots. So please go and check it out. I also make beautiful jewelry from crystals, and they are charged with masters of crystals and angels, and it is quite enjoyment to wear one of those art pieces. This is just a friendly reminder from the spirit that we are not just the physical, we are also energetic, vibrational, light being, and the larger part of us is source energy in a physical body, the same energy that creates worlds, and that is quite powerful, so never forget that. Today conversation or the topic is going to be continuation of the meritocratic society, meritocrats, and the first and second and third attention. Why do we need to have all three of them to become a meritocrats and form a meritocratic society? So please go and check it out. The video that I'm talking about is about the meritocratic society, because this is continuation of that video, and it will make more sense to you if you watch that first and this video second. So what are those attentions? Who is in the first, second and third attention? So the first attention is what almost all of us know. This group of people are naturally educated in a civilized society. They can be on the plus or the minus pole, which means they can do good or evil depending upon their upbringing. They use thoughts and they use emotions, intuition, inspiration, or instincts, but it doesn't all come from their inner center. It comes from their mind. The first attention is actually the attention that is coming from the mind. So we are talking about people who are just mirroring themselves from the spheric bubble that we already talked about in my previous conversation with the spirit. And because of that, their inner and outer senses are distorted. People in the first attention are not unique individuals who are, for example, in a second and third attention. They insist and stick to their own truth, which is reflected to them from the mirrors of their own personality, from the spheric bubble, and they use their reasoning and thus their mind. So they are empathic or really only just logical. Here in the first attention, we have only mirroring of the holographic information through one's own mind, through one's own body. So we go from reasoning to senses, and it goes around and around, and we keep going in circles, repeating same mistakes over and over and over. Now, until people figure out that this program is not working out very well for them, and they decide to recalibrate their vibration, they will be stuck in a first attention. Here we are talking about typical matrix. And we know a lot of information. We already have a lot of information about matrix, so I do not need to spend too much time explaining that. These people are very susceptible and manipulable because the origin of their feelings and thoughts, emotions and urges is not in their inner center body. It is in the spheric bubble around them and in the emanations, and that this bubble sends in or out. Basically, they are hologram itself, and here this hologram was created not in a divine way, but is the creation of the mind, the intellect, the instincts, the emotions of every human being. Some say we live in a hologram, which is not true. We live in a real beautiful earth, in a magnificent, beautiful nature. Holograms are just an energy structures in human beings. This holographic structure is not divine. It is a hologram that some people come from and use as their first attention, creating some kind of persona that is not natural to humans. So I do encourage you to go check out my video also about the hologram and how the hologram was created, who created it, and how it was put in people on this earth for the manipulation. It is quite fascinating information. So the second attention, what that is and why do we need to know all about it. So the second attention is the call of the spirit, and one has already found the plus side of the first attention. The plus side of the pole is goodness, purity, playfulness, love. The plus side of the felicity, so that one has satisfied oneself of the human part and wants to go further into the depth of knowledge. Well, at that moment, the spirit speaks to a man and goes toward him to meet him. The spirit gives man signs. So we are all being tested by spirit, so we need to pay attention to that. It's very important. So the signs are called the 7 to 10 abstract keys of the spirit. And I will explain that in a detail in a different video because that is quite unique information and why we need those keys and how we can get those keys from the spirit. Man then begins to perceive things that do not fit into the logic or things, or he has no experience with them, but he is discerning, he is aware of it, and at that moment something like second attention emerges. Also, man is guided by his inner silent voice. And it is said that the second attention comes from inner silence. It is the silent voice that comes from our inner center. It is our pure inner guidance system. The mirroring of the emanations from the spherical bubble that form the hologram and program the mind is no longer working here. Here is the radiant luminosity of consciousness already working. This means that the divine spark or the God's spark has been awoken in man. It was always there, but it was not perceived by the mind, and it was not perceived by the reason, by the inner senses, by the outer senses, and not even by the physical body. Here in the second attention is the radiant luminosity of the consciousness of the attention, so-called power of that divine spark which echoes through the spirit in man. This divine spark moves in the spherical bubble that is around man. It is the radiant luminosity of consciousness. Everybody has it. It is located behind us in that spherical bubble, approximately in the height of our shoulder blades in the middle. Here that spark, once activated, shows man that everything is a little bit of different, and everything is a little bit of a fraud, a little bit of an illusion. It is real, but deception and illusion is man himself, who thinks he is real and yet is foolish because his outward and inward senses and his reasoning are deceived, and his mind is diseased. And the reason why I'm saying that the person in the first attention is not real, it is real, but because he is so much programmed and manipulated through the hologram that he thinks that everything that he perceives is real, but it's not, because it is programmed into him. And that's how sad and this is, and we need to talk about it, and we need to break out of this matrix nonsense. So the first attention fades away, and man begins to perceive the second attention, when then the radiant luminosity of consciousness slowly reaches him, and the golden spark moves into the middle of the physical body. And when the spark settles down and is stable there, the second attention is in a full effect, and man perceives the spirit. Everybody has it like this, and everybody has it set up like this. It's just a matter of time when you figure out that you want to step out of matrix. For example, some people don't even know what I'm talking about, but they believe what intuitively comes to their mind first, and that's it. So this is the second attention. It may seem totally unrealistic and crazy, but it is the right choice, and that comes from the person's spiritual second attention. Only wrong choices come out of first attention, no matter whether they are on the plus side or minus side of the pole. They are not beneficial for all people involved. The right or genuine choice is beneficial for all involved, and it is given by the divine spark and spirit that has moved from the spherical bubble to the inner center of man, and this is perceived by us as a silent knowledge. From this comes the mature, genuine choice. Because we are led by spirit, which is purity of mind and clarity of heart. This is the level of the meritocrat. Here man thinks with his heart and feels with his mind. He is guided by the spirit, and this shows him the true reality and the divine truth. So I did not make mistake. Listen carefully. Here man thinks with his heart and feels with his mind. So you see, it's reverse. And the reason why I'm talking about this, because darkness cannot live in the present time, especially when we are in creative mood. So how we beat the darkness is that we focus ourselves in the present time and try to be as creative as possible, because darkness cannot be creative. It uses us, and but that's, and again, that's just a deeper conversation about that topic, and we are now talking about the first and second and third attention. So also an individual concept of becoming and transition from the first attention to second is needed. So man is connected to his spirit. The spirit is not yet united with man in one, all in one, but it already has communication with man. This must be felt with the mind and thought with the heart, because the brilliant radiance of the human consciousness has entered the inner space of the body as a silent knowledge. But here we are talking about the spark of the divine dimensional attention. So there is no longer the spherical bubble around man. We don't need it, so we discarded it. But only the physical body. And in the physical body, the spirit is beginning to take over the controlling role. So in the second attention, we need to destroy the spherical bubble, because that's where those mirrors are. This is where the reflection and projections happen, and the manipulation happens, and I explained that in my previous video. So in the second attention, the spirit moves from outside to inside of the physical body, and therefore that spherical bubble is no longer needed. We need to destroy that. I hope that this makes sense, because it does make sense to me. It just I just don't know sometimes when I'm clear enough to explain this topic. So man feels with his mind and thinks with his heart. The second attention is the attention of the meritocrat. It is the center of the individuality. The first attention is the attention of the democrat, but it is only it can be only manifested in duality. The three-dimensional world is the world of duality, and democracy was created in duality, and that's why there is always conflict. There is always plus and minus sign to it, and that's why even Mr. President Trump is saying that the Democrats went too far left, which he means they really, really went to the left side of that scale of that democracy in the duality, and we are moving away from that concept. If we look at the first and second attention from the essence point of view, that would be the essence of perception and essence of the understanding. So let's now get more clarity about the third attention, what the third attention is. So here one begins to exist completely through essences. So one identifies the essence of the meritocrat. and we need to learn how to simplify things into the essence, and then be able uh, to feel or identify that essence. It is quite important, and I'll just give you a little example how I use it in my healings or consultations. So when I have consultation with my client, whether it's on the phone or in a person, first I focus and I evoke the essence of the meritocrat in me. Then I look at the client's life story. I find the wrong steps or wrong patterns of thinking where are and we are talking about the psychological patterns. Everybody creates them, so nobody is perfect. So, and those psychological patterns we create either in this lifetime or in many past lives. So I go and figure out all of those wrong patterns of thinking, and then I tell client where he made mistake and where he needs to correct it, and the life force energy starts to flow, and it is actually the scalar energy or the scalar torso energy. It is important to start simplifying things, but from the second attention of the meritocrat. So I encourage you guys to start simplifying everything down to the essences, and then we can identify them and use them to the positive ways, in a positive ways. So this is how you um, accelerate the shift of individual growth and becoming of more light. Man makes mistakes all the time, but we need to work on simplifying things. So we need to simplify our work. We need to simplify our perspective on the world. So we focus only on those important points which have a functional sense in that aspect, and they foster goodness, love, and other basic values. This includes faith, wisdom, knowledge, mortality. These are the 6 keys of the spirit. Here, those keys open the gate, but that's for another topic. So this is a very simple identification of man, but still man can make mistakes. But then there is the divine grace in motion. What does this mean in practice? So it means that I am not angry with myself or with others, because I know that divine grace in motion will take care of all involved. So it takes care of me when I make a mistake, and it takes care of others who want to harm me, those who want to do harm, those who want to destroy everything good, those who are negative, those who are unkind. Now, let me make some point here and clarify that just because we have the divine grace in motion doesn't that it's taking care of us, doesn't mean that we just sit on a chair and do nothing. That divine grace in motion will kick your butt, and I'm not kidding you. So it will kick your butt when you make mistake, but also it really kicks butt to those who try to harm you. So all involved in that specific situations are going to get some kick from divine grace in motion. So and there it is my Ray of Light community, all about the transformation and transfiguration in direct motion. And either you will make it in this lifetime or in some other lifetime, doesn't matter, you will still make it. And this is the road to self-mastery and stepping out of matrix. So it's on your own time, and it is personal journey. And I would like to just tap a little bit into the scalar energy, because there are so many devices with the artificial scalar energy. And I'm just going to share my opinion about that, and you just use your inner guidance system and figure out where you want to be. So how I use scalar energy, the real one, not the artificial from those devices, because in my previous video I talked about it, how easily those devices can be hacked by artificial intelligence, and people can be programmed and manipulated through there. And those devices, doesn't matter whether they were developed for good, they are still devices and they can be hacked. And so the big danger is 5G and satellites and other short and long vibrational devices. But I already talked about it in my previous video. What I want to say about the real scalar energy that comes from the sun is that we all have central sun in us, because we are microcosmos. We are multi-dimensional beings, remember? So just imagine that we are microcosmos, and we have central sun inside of us. And then the macrocosmos has another central sun there. And when you combine one central sun with another one, the spark is created, and that is scalar energy. And that scalar energy comes from sun, and it's very healing, and it's available to all of us. We just need to understand that it's available to us and how we can use it. And it's very simple. Those two suns need to be combined together. Just imagine that one ray of light is coming from your central sun, and the other ray of light is coming towards you from the other central sun. And when they meet, because they are going opposite, one is shooting from you out, and then another ray is coming towards you, and once they meet, they create spark, and that spark is scalar energy. And once that happens, it just continue to your body and heals your body natural way. So very easy. Not everybody knows that, but now you do. So start using it, and I encourage you to use the natural scalar energy instead of those other devices. But hey, if you want to stay in first attention, being manipulated, go for it. One does not get very far through the energetic body, so one has to use either the plasma body or the light body. And this is the way of a man on this earth who transforms himself into a master. We are talking about self-mastery here, and it is not for everybody, because we need to go through the first, second, and third attention. We need to step out of matrix. We need to understand and realize that we are multi-dimensional beings. We need to merge all in one with spirit and create one light body, and that is called self-mastery. It's a specific process, and it doesn't happen overnight. So man has a knowledge of first, second, and third attention, and that includes the etheric and physical body, the light body, and then the plasma body. These bodies have to be put together into one, and now we are talking about the spirit that has already merged all in one with the physical body, or I should say the spirit merged all in one with man himself into the plasma body, and now we are talking about an energetic double on earth, looking like a man or directly like a master. This is only understood by people who have open third attention, which means that they have a spirit in action that has already merged with their physical body. The spirit is no longer directing man, but here spirit is already working as a equal partner with the man, and all together, like they are working together. Okay, so hope that makes sense. So they are equal partners. So the spirit is already the mind, which is pure mind. The spirit is already pure intellect. The spirit is already pure emotions, pure thoughts, pure feelings, pure intuition, instincts, and pure inspiration. This is the golden age. These are the basic principles of the golden age. And this is the road to the self-mastery. How does the transfiguration of the physical body manifest? So this is what we are all looking forward to, because here at this moment, this has never been done before, this transformation. So that's why it is so exciting to be here at this time space reality, because we have the opportunity to transfigurate ourselves and transform ourselves through self-knowledge into masters. So it was demonstrated by one of the masters, and that was Jesus Christ. We all know that. And then Saint Germain. And it is also implied in some of the movies, and I will mention Matrix. So if you have not seen Matrix yet, all three of them, all three movies, I encourage you to do so. There is a lot of information there that suggest a lot of things that we are not aware of, and that will open up your mind as well. In the course of this life, a man gets into a different composition of his own consciousness and into a different configuration of his own physical body in such a way that his surroundings hardly even noticed it. So you depart from the viewpoint of the one, but remain in the viewpoint of the other. And this is for another talk, for we are talking here about twin love and twin freedom. These are the fundamental states of consciousness, the states of the body that contribute to this transformation. This is where the 13 keys of spirit are needed. Here man will gain an awareness of his space, or his his very essence, and he will know that he is a multidimensional being. So we need to come into realization. It's not just enough that you read about multidimensional being, or you have some information about it. You need to come into realization from your inner guidance system, and nobody can teach you that. It's a personal journey. There are no dimensions outside of us. It is the multidimensional space of the world in which we are, which we as humans being can move around during this transfiguration. We can go no further. We can only go further as masters, but there are no dimensions there. So when we are talking about this earth, we have the same composition as the earth itself. We have the light body, we have plasma body, and we have etheric body, and the body of the master. But here we no longer have or need DNA. We have abolished it. DNA is a manipulation device put in humans, and it can be very easily altered. If one is in the first attention, that is okay. The DNA has a purpose there. It is only necessary to have DNA there to discard all its function and use only one function, which is the ability to receive the spirit and the divine spark. So this is very important information, because almost everybody is saying that you need to protect your DNA, and that's true if you want to stay in the first attention. But we are moving out from first attention. We are moving out from matrix. So be very cautious about the information that is coming from outside. You need to use your inner guidance system. The knowledge is inside of you. You just need to evoke that knowledge. You need to evoke spirit inside of you, so you have purity of heart and clarity of mind. And then all the information is there and will start make sense to you. So don't look for information from outside. Start using information that is inside of you, because that's pure, that's spirit in you. And DNA is good only in the first attention, because there is a certain reason for that. But use your intuition, use your guidance system, take whatever resonates with you, and discard everything else. So moving forward, if so if you are in the first attention, it is okay to protect your DNA, because you need it to be able to connect with the spirit and divine spark. Okay, so with the help of spirit and divine spark, man as a multi-dimensional being with a very expanded consciousness into first, second, and third attention, has ability to transform himself into a master, and there is no need for DNA. We do not need it there, so we already destroyed it. So before we can move into third attention, we need to discard the DNA. Okay, because as I said, that is a device that was put in humans for manipulation, and it can be very easily altered. So you guys, I hope you can take some of the information in. As I said, whatever resonates with you, take it. What doesn't, discard it. And also, just a friendly reminder, if you need ivermectin, you can go to my website, which is energysk.com, under alternative medicine. And thank you again for being here. Have a beautiful day or evening, and we love you all, and talk soon.